it's Allison from Green Saves You Green. In this video, I'm just going to share a couple budget-friendly, quick, and easy one-pot meals. Someone actually requested this video, so I figured I would just make a few of my favorites, and let's just get right to it.
This meal is so easy and takes hardly any time at all. All you gotta do is cut up some chicken. I had some chicken tenders that were in my freezer, so I just chopped them up into little pieces and threw them in the pan. And I added some salt and some pepper and just let them cook for a little bit. Now for my fajita seasoning, I just use a couple different things. I use some garlic powder, some chili powder, cumin, and I just stir it around. Now you can buy like a little fajita packet at the store really cheap if you want to. I prefer to just do it myself. I get this bag of mixed frozen onions and peppers from the Dollar Tree. $1. Of course, you can go and buy the onions and the peppers and you can chop them all up, but this bag just makes it so quick and easy and so budget friendly. $1. So just stir all that around and then just place it on your tortillas. This was just so quick, so easy, and delicious as well. And of course, you could top it with sour cream, guacamole, or anything that you want to top it with. I just start this soup by just chopping up some onions and some garlic. Now I'm just using about half a pound of mild sausage. I bought like a whole, like one roll, and I'm just using half of it because there's only 2 of us and I only wanted this to really be like one meal. So I just used half. You can obviously use the whole roll if you want to, but for us this worked out perfectly, and then we could use the other half for another meal. This right here, this is a can of tomatoes, but it's only half of a can, and you'll see later in the video what I use the other half of the can of tomatoes for. And I'm adding a lot of spinach. You don't have to add this much spinach, honestly. And it was good. It was good how it was, but I just added a whole entire pack of fresh spinach because I didn't think we were gonna eat it otherwise, so I just threw it all in. So it got eaten because this soup was delicious. Now I'm just adding in about a half a pack of gnocchi that I also got from the Dollar Tree. So that's about 50 cents worth of gnocchi. And it was definitely enough for the 2 of us. I just sliced up some of my block of cheese. I didn't actually grate it. I just kind of chopped it up a little bit and threw it in there. And I like to use the block cheese because it's normally cheaper, but also because it will melt a lot better than if you buy it pre-shredded. And I added in a lot of red pepper flakes. If you don't want it to be spicy, I would definitely add less. And I know that looks like nothing in the bowl. I realize that does not look like anything, but I had already eaten some of it before my husband got home. So that's just what I ate with my husband, and here's him messily scooping his out. And we just have really large bowls. Like for him, he's putting like 5 scoops in and it still doesn't look like it's really much in the bowl, but we just have large bowls. Like that's actually a lot of food right there. And there's more left in the pan if he wants some more. This was my favorite meal. It was so delicious. You just start by chopping up some chicken and throwing it in the pan. Of course, add some salt and some pepper to your chicken and let that cook a little bit. I actually make chicken Alfredo all the time, and this is not how I normally make it, but once I made this is probably how I'm always gonna make it from now on because it's so much easier. I added some garlic. This is chicken broth, and this is heavy cream, and it's just all going in the pot together. It's amazing. Usually I make the meat in one pan, the sauce in one pan, the noodles in one pan, and this, I don't know why I haven't discovered this sooner. This is amazing. I just put the pasta in and it just all cooks together, and this tasted amazing. My husband loved it, I loved it, and it's a winner in my book. Here I'm adding some Cajun seasoning, but you actually don't have to add that if you just want like regular chicken Alfredo, but we wanted some Cajun chicken Alfredo. So after the pasta cooks, you're just going to remove it from the heat and add the Parmesan cheese and stir it until it melts. One more pasta dish, one pot pasta. How can you go wrong? I love it. I'm just adding some garlic and some onions that I had chopped up. And this is like homemade hamburger helper. So I used ground turkey, but you can use ground beef, ground chicken. You can really use any meat that you want, but I just used ground turkey. And I'm just browning it in the pan. Trying to break it up. My mom has this little tool that you kind of stab down in there and it breaks it up really good, but I don't have that, so just adding some salt and pepper. And that's garlic powder. Really, any seasonings that you want to add, you can just add it in. That's like Mrs. Dash or something like that. That is going to be your heavy cream or milk, your pasta, and the other half of that can of tomatoes from earlier. And with this one, I actually realized that I messed up because the recipe that I used, it was double the amount, but I only wanted to make half. However, the pot was too big, so with the liquid in there, it wasn't cooking, it wasn't going to cook the noodles, so this one ended up being a 2-pot meal, unfortunately, but I just dumped it into another little smaller pot so that the noodles would have the liquid, and I added some water. The water was part of the recipe, but I knew if I didn't put it into a smaller pan that it still wouldn't have cooked the noodles, so I just put it in a smaller pot, that way the noodles could cook and it fixed the issue. Now I'm just adding in a little bit of the cut up cheese, and I would definitely recommend using sharp cheddar cheese for this recipe. You just need it. You just need the strong flavor because there's not a lot of other flavors in there. So I would add the sharp cheddar cheese. If you use mild, it's just not, it'll still be all right. It'll feel like it needs flavor, especially if you're used to mac and cheese out of a box, or like hamburger helper cheese or Velveeta or something. I don't really like to use that much of processed, so I try to use like real cheese, but you need to use the sharp for this recipe in my opinion. But there it is. It was really good. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you try some of the recipes and let me know how they were. And you can also leave a comment if you want, if you have any like recommendations of the type of video you'd like me to make. Just let me know.